Hi, so today I would like to read a message that I got on YouTube and use it as a reason to explain why I feel insurance is 99% bullshit. Lewis, I noticed in one of the videos that you did, particularly a video where you were sick, that you said that you do not have health insurance and that you have no plans on obtaining health insurance over the course of your lifetime. Are you nuts? What are you going to do if you get heart disease or stroke? Don't you understand that it's irresponsible to not take care of yourself by not getting insurance? Insurance is not a scam as you've said it is, and it is very irresponsible of you. How arrogant do you think somebody has to be to believe that they will never have a health problem and that insurance is bad for them? Please explain. This is one of those things where when you wonder why people who are on YouTube kind of start to get say funny things about the people who watch their content, it's kind of because, even if 99% of your subscriber base is sane, you kind of get the 1% that just send stuff like this. And it's easy to laugh and assume that they're all like that. I know, Clinton. Are you hungry? I know, I'm going to feed you when the video's over, boy. So, let's explain some of this, because as much as I don't really reply to these things usually, I feel like this is a really good opportunity to talk about insurance, which is something that I have some strong feelings about. So, when it comes to insurance, particularly healthcare, I believe that insurance 99% of the time is a scam. The reason that I believe insurance is usually a scam is because insurance itself is a profitable industry. It is a profitable business. Now, the fundamental idea of how insurance works is this. I am going to give the insurance company money, and then when I need that money back to pay for something, I'm going to ask the insurance company to give me my money back. So, in order for the insurance company to be able to afford staff, accountants, janitors, their office, salespeople, billboard advertisements, television advertisements, in order for an insurance company to afford all these very expensive costs of doing business, they, like any other business, needs to take in more money than they give away. So, when the idea is that the insurance company is going to give me back my own money, and the fact that the insurance company is a profitable business means that they need to take in more money than they give back, that means that by definition, the insurance company's goal is going to be to take more of my money than they're giving back to me. Why would I enter that type of business relationship? Why would I enter that type of transaction? It doesn't make any sense. I could simply take my own money and put that into my bank account, where every single dollar that I put into the bank account is readily available back to me if I ever wish to withdraw it. And you'll notice with insurance companies that they very often have policies in place that are designed to ensure that the standard average person never gets back the amount of money that they put into the insurance account. One great example with myself is when I opened the store in 2012 and I wanted to have everything done prim and proper and correct. I got this policy from the Hartford. It was some business loss of income insurance. The entire idea behind that policy was that if something were to occur within my business that stopped me from being able to do my core business and make money, some type of issue or disasters, crap happens, that I would be covered and that I would be paid by the insurance policy the amount of money that I would have expected to have received during that time period if my business were up and running. Now, what happened in the end of 2012? Hurricane Sandy. I forget if it was Irene or Sandy. It's pretty late at night. I think it was Hurricane Sandy. And what happened at the end of 2012, if you were in Manhattan, particularly the East Village, you'll know that half of it was underwater. And that, there was like water this high in the streets. You'll know that there was no electricity because a Con Edison power plant blew up, and that it was total pandemonium. There was no way in hell anybody was going to work in this environment. And just nothing worked. So I didn't go to work. There's no point in me opening up a computer repair store where I have no lights, I have no electricity, and if I open the door, that there's going to be a little flood that comes in because electronics don't like water. And even if I were able to fix the electronics faster than they were being water damaged by the hurricane, I can't turn on a soldering iron with no electricity. I can't test if a computer turns on the charger if there's no electricity for the charger. So I decide to see what I can do with my insurance policy with the insurance company, and they say that they're going to pay me $0. And I go, what do you mean? And they're all happy, and they're like, well, look at this page of your contract. You see where it says that it does not cover issues that are related due to water or liquid? And I go, well, okay, let's ignore the flood. This is not water or liquid related. This entire part of Manhattan has no electricity. Most of Manhattan has no electricity. As an electronics repair store, I need electricity. Because I have no means of getting electricity to the store, I can't do business. You know what their response was? Well, the power plant is why you're not getting electricity. I'm like, yes, exactly, not water. The power plant blew up because of water, and because the power plant blew up because of water, we're not giving you a dime. This is insurance. This is the way insurance works. You have very high-priced lawyers and high-priced actuaries who are always going to beat the average Joe, who are always going to be able to word this shit in a manner that the average Joe cannot understand or is not going to be able to comprehend while he's reading through a 74-page contract, so that they get to keep the money in their pockets instead of giving it to you. How many times have you needed some type of procedure done with your healthcare, you needed to get some type of special medicine, or you needed to see some type of special doctor, and it was like pulling teeth because your healthcare provider just wasn't having it. That's not in their network, or this is not something that we support. And one of the people that used to work here just recently had a knee surgery that he had to have, and they said that this is going to be covered. And then he wound up needing some type of special medication, and they said this is covered. But then when he went to have them reimburse, what happened is that they said, well, this specific type of that medication is not covered. It was some bullshit like that, and they wanted to try to get him to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a medication. And he wound up having to stay on hold for over 3 hours a day for almost he was off for like 6 weeks when that happened. So it was about 2 weeks of fighting with the insurance company to get back the money that he gave them for medicine. What if he was able to simply have somebody walk to the bank for him, withdraw the money that he had been wasting on insurance, and simply pay that for the medicine? Rather than spend 3 hours a day for 2 weeks fighting, he would have spent 5 to 15 minutes going to Chase. It really is one of those things. Again, do you want to be fighting to get back your own money? The entire idea behind insurance is that we are going to be profitable taking in more money than we give out. And you, as a customer of insurance, are giving them the money. So again, this makes no fucking sense. Simply keep the money within your own bank account and you're good. And the same thing goes with any type of insurance, whether it's healthcare, whether it's business income loss insurance, or whether it's even something like shipping insurance. I mean, do you not believe that there are actuaries in place that are going through this and trying to come up with some type of algorithm to figure out what insurance should cost for a given service type, for a given package weight, for a given package size? Do you not think that they're going through statistics of how often a package is reported lost or damaged, what the average claim is based on the weight and the size of it, and using that to come up with what insurance should cost so that they're always taking more from you than they're giving back? That's the way they're profitable. The way insurance companies are profitable is by ensuring that they are never giving you back the full amount of money that you've given them. So why do we continue to choose to give insurance companies money? It makes no fucking sense. It is a complete scam. Now, the only time that I believe it is not a complete scam is when the insurance is for the benefit of somebody other than the person who holds the insurance. What do I mean by that? When it comes to healthcare, I fully believe that I should have the right to take the risk with my own health. So, let's say when it comes to something like healthcare, let's just do a little bit of calculating on the screen over here. So I'm going to move over to where you can see both. So let's say I did some calculating before. You could see I was doing some math before I actually realized I recorded this video and accidentally erased it. So let's just do that. And I'm going to, well, you can obviously already see some of it, but let's say that healthcare costs $300 a month. I'm 27, which means let's say about 9 years that I'd be paying for healthcare. So 9 years of paying for healthcare times 12 months a year times $300 a month, that comes out to $32,400. Now in the last 9 years, when it comes to me getting a cold, me having to have my earwax removed because I wear these short in-ear headphones that kind of make the wax get stuck in your ear and all that stuff, and some medicine that I've gotten, it's come out to approximately $1,200. I'm 99% certain that I've spent less on that personally, but let's just say not $1,200. So we do $32,400 minus $1,200. And by not having health care, I have saved $31,200. And that's assuming that there's no copays. That's assuming that I never had to pay a copay to see a doctor. That's assuming that all of the costs of my medicine were covered, that I never had to pay for anything, that I've saved $31,200. That is in my bank account in case I have a stroke, in case I have a heart attack, in case I have any of those things. And by the way, since I was part of it, what if you get heart disease or have a stroke? This is where I'm going to get myself in a little bit of trouble, and I don't really care. I take care of myself. Really, it's just not something that I worry about. That's why I've seen a doctor, maybe like a regular doctor, for stuff like a cold or something like that, like, 1 or 2 times in almost 10 years. Heart disease, strokes, all that, that's for people. For the most part, those are diseases for people that just don't take care of themselves. Heart disease is what happens to people that eat a lot of meat, eggs, cheese, dairy, etc. For the people that don't get any exercise ever over the course of their life. I ate very little meat from 18 to 27. And when I realized it was such a small part of my diet, 4 months ago, I just cut it out altogether. I have very, very good cholesterol levels if I go to my doctor. It's been a while since I was measured for it, actually. It's been a really long time since I've been measured for it, but I was measured as a meat eater. So I can only imagine what it is like now as a non-meat eater. And in terms of things like exercise, I look sweaty right now. I ran home from work. If the train is not working, the average person takes a cab. When the train doesn't work for me, I think, oh, it's only 4.5 miles, let's take a jog. I do this every single day. I live a naturally healthy lifestyle. I don't use all these products from the store, these antiperspirants that clog up your shit. I don't use soap that has petroleum in it. I don't eat shit that walks or meows. I know, Mr. Clinton, that scared the... As soon as I said I don't eat things that meow, it scared the piss out of him. But I don't lead an unhealthy lifestyle, so I don't worry about that. There are people that are going to say things like, "Oh, you can still get heart disease if you're a vegan. Oh, you can still get a stroke even if you exercise well." Again, let's take a bet. Come back in 60 years and we'll see. When people say stuff like that, amongst people who are in the electronics repair business, people who do this and sit in a microscope and do this all day for a living, take 100 of us out, put us in a room, and take a guess which one of us has health care and which one of us don't. Most people would probably guess that I'm one of the people that have health care, and that the people that are 220 pounds with no muscle mass at my height, or the people with high cholesterol and diabetes, are the ones that do not have health care. But the reality is that I don't have health care because I lead a lifestyle where I don't anticipate having these issues. One of the things about cholesterol in general, when people talk about how that can contribute to these things and high blood pressure, it's not like that doesn't happen at the age of your 40s and your 50s, because that's the age where all this stops working. It's kind of a cumulative thing. People who eat at McDonald's and eat this fast food and eat this shit their whole life, that's cumulative. Every year that you eat crap, you're just adding onto the crap that's in your body. It's not like our bodies were programmed at age 45 to just break down and become pieces of shit. It's that means that for 27 years of your adult life, you treated your body like a piece of shit, and just becoming shittier and shittier and shittier and shittier every year. That's just, that's always been my take on it. That's kind of like cumulative, so that if you kind of make sure each year that you're not crapping on your body, that you're not eating like shit, that you're not sitting down and doing nothing on your ass all day, and then taking the train home and then wondering why you're out of shape, that you'll kind of be good, some people bring up that I have a video where I got sick and I had a 102 fever, but yeah, I had a 102 fever. I also came to work and fixed all the boards that day. I get a cold maybe once a year. My resting heart rate is anywhere between 49 to 55, depending on how high stress a day I've had. If I take the day off and I just stay around my apartment, 49 resting heart rate. If I don't take the day off, 55 resting heart rate. Again, how many people in the electronics repair profession can say that their resting pulse is 49 beats per minute? Probably not a lot. But anyway, forgetting the health silliness, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on the whole idea that vegans don't have as many issues with heart disease, but like, again, it's not like a holier than thou thing. It's just the truth. But when it comes to, let's say, insurance for other people, that's what I was getting into here. I understand that most people don't take care of themselves. And again, I have the right to not take care of myself. I have the right to take this risk. So if I get a heart attack at age 20, I would have only saved $2,400 at that point. I can't afford open heart surgery. Now, at my current rate of savings, I am going to have saved $50,000 to $60,000 to $70,000 by the time I'm at the age where I would get a heart attack, and that's just gonna be from money that did not pay for healthcare. So even if I do have a heart attack at that age because I decide, fuck it, screw a healthy lifestyle, I'm gonna sit home all day and eat McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, even if I do that, I will have enough money in my bank account to pay for the open heart surgery and recovery out of pocket by then. But that's my choice. So if I decide to not get insurance, I potentially screw myself over. I'm okay with the idea that I potentially screw myself over. However, I am not okay with the idea of potentially screwing other people over. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say you take things like workman's compensation, or let's say you take things like unemployment insurance. So the way the unemployment works in New York where I am, if I fire somebody or I lay them off, they are entitled from the government to a percentage of their earnings up to a certain amount until they find themselves a new job. Now, the way that this works is, let's say I fire somebody. Now, let's say there was no unemployment insurance. So let's say that I fire somebody because my company is not doing well. Let's say I fire them and I have $500 left in my bank account. And let's say it takes that person 8 months to find a job. Let's say they got paid $3,000 a month. If it takes them 8 months to find a job at $3,000 a month, that means that they will have received, let's say you're receiving 66 or 50, let's say you're receiving 50%. If you're receiving 50% of what your salary as unemployment, that means that they would receive $12,000 over that time period. That's what they would have been entitled to while they were looking for a job, $12,000. If I have $500 left in my bank account because my business has failed, I cannot afford to give that ex-employee that amount of money. So in this situation, if I don't pay for insurance, I am screwing over somebody but myself. So a lot of people do not take actions in their own self-interest. Even, again, most people don't take care of themselves, even when it's their direct self-interest. Again, just look at how people eat. Look at how people exercise. Look at what people do to themselves. If you look at what most of the United States, what most of the people here do to themselves, it is so obvious that we do not even care about ourselves, much less other people. But look at it. People cannot be trusted to put aside money for themselves. How are you going to trust that people can be trusted to put aside money for other people? You can't. That's why I agree with things like unemployment insurance. That's why I agree with things like car insurance. That's why I agree with things like what was the other one? Workman's compensation. Let's say somebody gets injured at work and they can't come to work for 6 months. They have a right to I think, don't quote me on this, it's 1 a.m. and I'm not an attorney. I think it's something like 2/3 of their pay. So let's say I don't have the money in my bank account to pay somebody for 6 months. They're not coming to work. What are they just not supposed to get paid because I'm a piece of shit business owner that didn't put together a safe work environment and then did not put aside money in case something went wrong? No. So insurance in that case is helpful because what insurance is doing is it's creating a safety net to ensure that even if you're an irresponsible piece of shit, that you're not screwed. Now again, I fully support my right to screw over myself. I believe I have the right to do what I want with my own money. But I don't believe that I have the right to screw over other people. So as much as I don't like paying workman's compensation insurance, as much as I don't like paying for things like unemployment insurance, I understand why they exist. Businesses are most likely to fire or lay people off when they don't have money in their bank account. So when you're most likely to get rid of employees, which is when they're going to need unemployment insurance, that's also when the employer is most likely broke. Same thing with cars. I believe that I have the right to screw myself over. So it's something like car insurance. Let's say I screw up my car, I total it by crashing into a telephone pole. I have the right to screw myself over. Let's say that I drive my car and I drive into somebody else's car and I cause $20,000 of damage to somebody else's car. And it's my fault. I was the one who caused the issue. and I only have $500 in my bank account. Again, are we saying that it's totally cool that that person should have to pay $20,000 out of their own pocket, even though they were not the one who fucked up their car? No, I think that's bullshit. And that's why I think things like car insurance are okay, because there we're creating a safety net, because again, people cannot be trusted to take care of themselves, much less take care of other people. And their insurance creates a safety net that allows us to ensure that other people are not screwed over by our actions. But yeah, when it comes to things like healthcare, no, I don't find the value in it. Again, like if I have a heart attack when I hit age 50, which if you guys are still watching this YouTube channel and there's still a YouTube channel at age 50, you'll see that I'll be in totally perfect health. But if I have a heart attack at age 50, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to withdraw $70,000 from my bank account with the money that I saved from not paying for healthcare, and I'm going to use that money to pay for my surgery. It's that simple. I don't like the idea of giving somebody else my money and then praying that they give it back to me. Again, if you just look at the basics of how insurance works, they take in money that they then have to use to run their business, and then they give a portion of that or whatever is left after they've paid for the billboards, after they've paid for the television, after they've paid for the salespeople, back to you. I personally feel that it should be illegal to even do half of this. I mean, I used to be an Atlantis healthcare salesperson for all of 45 minutes in 2008. I was a health insurance salesman for 45 minutes in 2008 before I quit. I took a course, I got my license, I got everything that I needed, and then I realized that this was the biggest bullshit job on earth. But I mean, think about it. Like, you're paying money to a company. That company is then going to use that money to pay for your well-being, for your surgery, for your procedures, for your medicine. Every dime that goes into a healthcare system should be going to the direct treatment of people. It should be going into developing the medication. It should be into administering the medication. It should go to medical professionals that are going to diagnose what's wrong with you. Money in healthcare should not be going to a fucking salesperson. There should be no commission involved when it comes to people's health. Not a single dime wasted. There should be no recurring commissions to salespeople who were able to sign up customers for healthcare. I find that personally disgusting. When it comes to shit like consumer electronics repair, sure, this stuff is not. At the end of the day, you will live if you have an iPhone that's one generation behind. But there is a difference between life and death when it comes to treating your health and when it comes to surgery. And I don't think that anybody should be given the right to profit off of that besides the people that are actually doing the work, the people that are actually running the hospital, the people that are actually running the clinic. Like, health insurance salespeople that are good at their job should not be driving Benzes and bragging about how much money they make. Insurance, when it comes to that stuff, is just a disgusting scam that I want no part of. And I will not contribute to that system. And again, like, you take 100 electronics technicians and put me in a room with them and have a bunch of people poll which one of us, after we do a bunch of physical activity, maybe we play a little dodgeball, we play a little football, we go running around, we lift some weights, have a bunch of people rate, who do you think is the one that is regularly checked out by a doctor, and which one of us has no access to health care? I'm pretty sure most people are not going to guess that I'm the one that doesn't have access to health care. That the person that can run 4.5 miles without going is not the one that doesn't have access to health care. That the person that can lift 100 pounds over their own body weight is not the person that doesn't have access to health care. For the most part, the whole idea that, what if you have a heart disease or a stroke? It's because the American diet leads people to have a heart attack and a stroke. I mean, it's very, very easy to go about taking some very basic steps to ensure that you don't have to worry about this over the course of your lifetime. And most people don't even bother. I mean, it's just, just take a look at what you put in your body, take a look at your activity, and ask yourself honestly, is what I'm doing healthy? And if the answer is no, or you can't bring yourself to give yourself an answer, then maybe focus on that rather than giving away $200 to $400 a month to an agency that gets to decide whether or not they're going to give you back the money that you paid them when you have a health problem that you probably could have prevented anyway.